Glorious Tuesday afternoon in the Big Apple. Interleague play continues for the Rockies, and it's Game 3 this year against the New York Yankees. And welcome across from Manhattan, the northernmost borough, the Bronx, as the Rockies are at the new Yankee Stadium. They've been there one other time back in 2011. Again, looking to win their third straight against the Yanks. And we welcome you upstairs. It was a short night of sleep for everybody last night with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies didn't get to their hotel till about 4:30 or so in the morning, probably after 5 when everybody put their head on the pillow, but you turn it around real quick. It is always special to be here, isn't it?
And you get an extra bounce in your step because you come to Yankee Stadium, whether it was the old one for Carlos Gonzalez and Ryan Rayburn, and they also get to play in the new one. It is Yankee Stadium, and you said it a moment ago before we came on the air, 27 World Championships. That's something special. And you think about some of the young guys that are playing here, because I remember what it was like when I stepped in the batter's box at the old Yankee Stadium, thinking, wow, this is where Mickey Mantle, this is where Babe Ruth, all those guys. So talking to Trevor Story today, talking to Nolan, talking to DJ, they were excited about being able to come here and kind of check this off their bucket list and say, hey, we've made it to Yankee Stadium.
You can never forget that no matter how great you are to get here, you're still a little kid at heart. And so it is a special evening for a lot of those guys in Rockies uniforms that have never played at Yankee Stadium, certainly not the old Yankee Stadium. Well, the Rockies last night got a much-needed win down in Miami, 5-3. It was an historic night, Huey.
Well, they hit the 5 home runs. That set a Marlins Park record for solo home runs, 8 total in that ball game. But for the Rockies, they needed it the third time this season with 5+ home runs. They did it one other time where they hit 5 against San Diego. If you remember back, they hit 7 against the Cincinnati Reds, but it was everybody in the lineup. Mark Reynolds going out a couple different times. We saw Trevor, but then finally this last one was probably the most impressive of the night for Charlie Blackmon. We had his parents on TV. He had hooked one foul. But now they're coming to Yankee Stadium, and everybody talks about Coors Field, but how about these numbers, Drew?
Yeah, since this park opened in 2009, it has relinquished more home runs per game than any other park. Your old stomping grounds, Camden Yards, #2. In Toronto, Rogers Center, #3. Then Coors Field. So for all those folks that think it's Coors Field or slam dunk, they're not even in the top 3.
No, and these ballpark here, this one, down the lines is what it was at the old stadium. So it's just a short poke to right field. If you go right down the left field line, it's an easy home run.
Yeah, if you pull it here, it is a bandbox at Yankee Stadium. We are set for baseball. It's the Rockies, it's the Yankees. Come on back to the Bronx with us. It's a city like no other, immense and diverse, incandescent and tireless. More has been written about New York undoubtedly than any other metropolis on the globe. And when the attention
It's a city like no other, immense and diverse, incandescent and tireless. More has been written about New York undoubtedly than any other metropolis on the globe. And when the attention turns to sports, which it often does in the city's 5 boroughs, the Yankees elicit passion, whether it's positive or otherwise. Understandable when your history covers more than a century, when your most notable players are known by a single name, and when your uniforms were as iconic as the logo on the cap.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The Yankees, love them or loathe them, are a brand that is familiar worldwide. It's a rare destination for the Rockies, who have come not to deify at the monuments in the outfield, but to finish off a home-and-home sweep that began in the mile-high air last week. It's the Rockies and the Yankees from the Bronx. Next. And with that, we welcome you inside, not the house that Ruth built, but the reasonable facsimile of the house that Ruth built. The Rockies, after the victory last night in South Florida, 33-36. The Yankees went 3-3 on the road trip, and they come in at 34-35. They were off yesterday after visiting Colorado and being swept in the 2-game set. They went to Minneapolis, and they took 3 of 4 from the struggling Twins. In fact, they won the first 3 games in that series and then lost on Sunday. It is a rematch of sorts. The Rockies saw and beat Ivan Nova last week. He's on the hill, and the first pitch of the ball game, a hard sinker for a strike at the knees at 94 to Charlie Blackmon. Charlie broke out yesterday after struggling the first 3 games with a 3-hit night, including that home run that Jeff described a moment ago.
And it was a lot of fun to see. That offense definitely needed to do something like that after what had happened the first 3 games. But going up against Nova again, 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs. He took the loss last Wednesday in Colorado. Rockies got to him in that 5th inning, scoring 4 runs.
The 1-1, and this ball is hit in the air to deep right field, and it is gone. Home run, Charlie Blackmon. And on display with the first batter, just how short it is in right field. So Charlie, back-to-back ball games with a home run and a quick start for Colorado.
This hit within about 5-7 feet of the top of the foul pole down the right field line. I don't care how short it is, that would have been out anywhere. And that is now 9 starts in a row that Nova has allowed a home run.
That ball was crushed.
Just like the Subaru Supermo, get that foot down and then the transfer of power and weight.
What helps it, though, and the reason I point out that it's 314 down the line, is that if it's a 340 down the line, it may have turned foul.
This one didn't have a chance to because of how short it is. I was just thinking about the height and the distance that it had. That would have gone out in any ballpark.
Absolutely, and there's a base hit to right. Quick start for the Rockies. We have seen this before, Huey, and I ask you to put your spikes back on. After a short night, it seems like it brings out the best in the Rockies. You'd think they'd be fatigued.
Right, but for some reason, this first game, you always still have the adrenaline rush maybe from the night before, and that's where it helps that you won last night in Miami. Even though you get to bed about 5 a.m. in the morning, you're up, you're ready to go, and you're coming to a place that some of these guys have never been to before. So that helps you get that extra energy.
Well, look, the short nights, and there have been several lately. The Rockies, after that night ball game in Boston, came home. They beat the Giants 5-2. Dodgers gave them a night game. Typically, that's what happens in L.A. The Rockies came home and threw an 11 spot out. That is a foul ball. In beating Pittsburgh. So the Rockies off to a fast start.
And if you go back to that game that the Rockies had after the Boston game, come home playing San Francisco, remember to start that ball game, there was also a 42-minute delay to start the game.
And the Giants, correct me if I'm wrong, the Giants had been there.
Yeah, they had a day off the day before.
They were sitting in Denver like it was their home. 0-1 on Arenado. It was wild about yesterday's affair, the 5 solo home runs. And it did not involve Nolan Arenado or Carlos Gonzalez.
Both those guys were in the hit parade. They each had 1. So they weren't left out of the party. They were left out of the home run barrage, but not out of the hit barrage.
And the Rockies produced 12 hits yesterday. Outfield straight up and deep for Nolan. Way outside.
And this is exactly what you want to do to a guy like Nova, who you beat in his last start. Right now, those bad thoughts are rattling around in the brain saying, oh no, are they going to do it to me again?
Now Nolan 2 for 3 with a home run against Ivan Nova. And it is 3-1. Nova typically is really tough the first few innings, and then if you're going to get to him, it happens fourth inning and beyond. Cargo gets ready.
The first inning, he has first 3 innings, 188 ERA. You can see the batting average jumps up that third time, and the earned run average goes to 766. The other positive side, the Rockies are 22-9 when scoring first, but how about these numbers for Nova? Yeah, Nova is right. 8 home runs allowed in innings 4 through whenever he gets out of the game. Tonight he's already allowed 1 in the first.
See if DJ runs here. 3-2 on Nolan. He takes off, and it's down the line, just foul. Every time I'm here, and I know we were just discussing it, it just is amazing to me. And it's Yankee Stadium, and it's the same dimensions as the old ballpark, and it's historic, and it's great, and there's so many marvelous things about it. But I look especially out in right field, and I'm like, my goodness, it is close. And it does. A lot of times when it's short down the line, Hugh, the walls will go out dramatically and quickly, but that's not the case here. Runner going again, and once again, it's fouled past Stu Cole.
All I think about is when we go into Citi Field and what it's like in Citi Field when we stand there and watch in batting practice and how far it seems out there. It's just the opposite at Yankee Stadium. How close it is. 314 down the right field line. It jumps up a little bit to 385 in the power alley in right center, but it doesn't seem that far.
Yeah, now if you hit it in the middle of the field,
it'll take.
You got to really crush it to get it out there. But anything on the pull sides. DJ off for a third time. This is back up the middle and on to first. Out at first base is Laz Diaz. And Nolan kind of jogging back as if to say, yep, he got me.
Heck of a play from Gregorius.
Yeah, really good play by Gregorius. Walt Weiss waiting to hear from Brian Jones. Walt's going out. Yeah, they want to look at it. It's funny because you always had a sense when you were running if you were safe or out, and there was no argument from Nolan. He just turned around and jogged off.
And now everybody, when it's close like that, they'll look at the manager and say, make sure you.
But that toe, toe's on the bag.
Toe's on the bag.
Now it's going to be, can they determine? It looks like it's on the bag. Now, what did you do when you were running? It's natural to try to reach for the bag. Nolan tried to reach for the bag, and he almost came up short.
Well, then you hope to drag your toe. I mean, you're taught not to lunge at the bag, but that's easier said than done. I think everybody that's going down there, if you feel like you might be in between steps, that you'll reach for that bag and you'll kind of lunge.
I think his toe hits the bag. Let's see this one. We can slow it down.
Right there. Ball's not in the glove yet. Now the question becomes, is that toe in contact with the bag?
It's going to come down to, can they determine if that toe, I mean, it looks like the toe kicks the bag. but can they tell without a shadow of a doubt?
And you remember, for an umpire too, what he's looking for is the foot on the bag and then the sound of the ball going into the glove.
He's safe. And the Rockies have 2 on. That'll be an infield hit for Nolan. Well, Nolan running. He's getting all the. He's getting his sprint work in.
Right there. Ball is not in the glove on the Subaru Supermo. Toe is on the bag. 3 batters, 3 hits.
That'll work. And here comes Cargo. 1 for 4 against Ivan Nova. Cargo 2 for 8 at the new Yankee Stadium. Of course, he played in the old Yankee Stadium as well. Good swing from Carlos. We were chatting with him before the ball game, and he preferred the old Yankee Stadium. He said, man, even though I know it's the same pretty much, he said when you walked in there, it seemed like the third deck was even higher than this third deck, and it just seemed even more immense. And of course, he said the ghosts.
Yeah, then that's what made it seem more immense. All the ghosts that played in that ballpark, what it meant to come in here and play against the vaunted Yankees. And this one's a little bit more concrete, a little bit more modern. The scoreboard's much nicer. All the amenities for the fans is definitely, and the players. I mean, because the other locker room was not very nice.
Oh, but again, it was built in the early 20th century.
Exactly.
That's what Wrigley Field's going through right now. 1-1. So the Rockies have a home run to begin the evening by Charlie Blackmon. Charlie's last swing in South Florida last night, a home run. His first swing today, a home run.
And that gives him 32 now out of the leadoff spot. That's second in the National League behind Matt Carpenter, who has 40.
And that's a base hit. DJ froze for a moment. It goes under the glove of Beltran. He'll score. And Nolan will stop at third. Cargo up to second. And the Rockies getting after Ivan Nova here in the first frame. 2-0 for Cargo. See if they give him an RBI there. If they do, it's his 38.
I think they would have to give him an RBI and then an error on Beltran, allowing everybody else to move up a base. That was a curveball that Cargo stayed on. Beltran didn't reach deep enough and low enough on the Subaru Supermo. He pulled the glove up too soon and then just had to go to the wall to retrieve it. Who needs sleep, Drew? Come on.
Evidently not this lineup for the Rockies. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order. Trevor Story getting ready to hit for the first time at Yankee Stadium. Then it'll be Descalso DHing. Mark Reynolds, who hit the 2 home runs yesterday, including the difference maker Ryan Rayburn and Tony Walters. DH obviously in place. Story takes a strike. Second and third, nobody out. 0-1 on Story. Infield's back. And this ball is sliced just foul. That was closer than I think anybody thought it was going to be defensively. 0-2. It is an RBI. They have just ruled on that. It is an RBI for Cargo, so his 38th RBI. And his first career RBI here at the new Yankee Stadium. Charlie a home run, DJ a base hit. Those two have scored already. Talking about it in the Florida series, or in the Miami series, they had struggled the first 3 games. When those two guys get on base and they're scoring runs, the Rockies win a whole lot of games.
Well, it just makes it easier for the guys that are trailing them, and Nolan and Cargo and Trevor, to be able to stand at the plate and have guys in scoring position. The pitcher's looking down the barrel going, oh no, I've got a couple more that I might give up.
Again, when Charlie Blackmon scores a run and Nova can't get on the same page as Brian McCann. When Charlie scores a run, the Rockies are 18-9.
Well, the numbers for Ivan Nova, 5-4 at home. He's 3-1 with the 264. That's going to go up now. Fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, but he only throws a changeup and slider 2% of the time that you see. So it is really, truly just a fastball, curveball mix. If he throws one of the other ones, you just say, hey, I'll give that to you. I'm waiting for the other two.
Story pops this up. It's playable. Nova saying, hey, somebody going to call me off? And finally, Rob Refsnyder did. 1 out, and that'll bring up Descalso. The Yankees defensively have Brett Gardner in left, Aaron Hicks is in center, Beltran is in right. You may notice Jacoby Ellsbury's out there. He's not feeling well. That's the reason he's out of the lineup. Headley at third, Gregorius at short. Starlin Castro, Rob Refsnyder on the right side, and Brian McCann is behind the plate. Now Descalso getting to check the new Yankee Stadium off of his list of stadiums he had never played in. And he takes a strike. It's a big at bat here. You had second and third, nobody out. Remember yesterday the Rockies won 5-3, but they had a bases loaded, nobody out situation, middle of the order up, did not score. You have to get at least one of these home.
Productive out, ground ball to second base, and that's all it's going to take. You could even hit it to first base because Refsnyder's playing back. Take advantage of having an extra guy in scoring position with the air by Beltran.
One and two. Crowd just settling in. It's pretty nice. Beautiful afternoon in New York today. First day of summer. First official day of summer. 2-2. 24 pitches already by Nova in the first.
It's kind of been the trend for Nova in his last 5 starts, a .306 batting average against. When you can only throw those 2 pitches, it makes it hitting so much more enjoyable. Well, okay, I only have to worry about the fastball and the curveball.
And this is slowly hit to third. Headley didn't get him. An infield hit and a good read by Nolan at third, because had he broken, it would have been an easier play for Headley to go to McCann for a tag play than to go to first.
So Nolan, all he did was follow Chase Headley as he started to go down the line. So Nolan thought about breaking, then he said, no, I'm not going to do that. But he also saw out of the corner of his eye Didi Gregorius sneaking in behind him. So if he tries to get off too far, then they can make that pick back behind him. So now you get bases loaded, you're still in the same position, and you got Mark coming to the plate.
Hitting star from last night. Here's Reynolds with the bases loaded, and it's fouled off. Our big hit brought to you by Mako. Yesterday, Mark Reynolds hit one early on a hanging curveball against Clemens. And then later on in the ball game, with the score tied 3-3, got a slider he hit out. First 2 home run game in a Rockies uniform. Our Mako big hit of the series. like a big hit right here. Rockies with 5 knocks already in the first. 1 out, bases loaded. And now Mark will have to work out of an 0-2 hold. The former Yankee came over and gave Joe Girardi a hug prior to the ball game. Talked about the fact that he has the distinction in his first Yankee at bat hitting a home run and his final Yankee at bat hitting a home run.
This is wild to think about.
He did not go. Wow, that was close.
Thank you, Laz Diaz.
Yeah, that was one you felt like.
Or you hold your breath.
Yeah, and you know what? Had they rung him up on that, I don't think Mark would have had much of an argument. So let's see if he can do well with the potential extra strike he's getting. We saw what it worked for Trevor Story yesterday.
Laz has some tough calls here in the first inning.
Already. And this is up the middle, trapped, and they're not going to get the force. That's a tough read all the way around. The Rockies get a 3rd run, an RBI for Reynolds. He hustled up the line. That ball's floating. You have to make sure you don't run into a double play.
Especially as strong as Mark is, and the ball will carry further off his bat than maybe some other guys. So you freeze on the line drive, but then the dive and being able to pick this once it hits the dirt is impressive. And then the flip over to Didi Gregorius, who then tries to throw Mark out at first base. And that was close.
You're right. Laz Diaz had a bunch of pretty tight calls already. So the Rockies get a 3rd run. And I agree with you. That was a heck of a play to keep it in the infield, much less get it out.
You're hoping you can just knock it down, and he gloved it.
Ryan Rayburn, who has experience hitting in both the old and new Yankee Stadium. Longtime American League player. 1st and 3rd with 2 gone. Home plate umpire. He hasn't had to do anything except call balls and strikes. We haven't identified him yet. Adam Hamari. There's Adam. He's behind home plate. Laz Diaz, veteran umpire at 1st. Marvin Hudson is the crew chief. He's at 2nd. Chad Fairchild's at 3rd. One on Rayburn. Outside 2-1. Rayburn does own a home run here at New Yankee Stadium. And in the final game the Tigers ever played at the old Yankee Stadium, the Tigers beat the Yankees in the final out of that particular game. Special to Detroit, certainly, was a fly ball to Rayburn in the outfield. Something he'll always remember. 3-1. And remember, with the DH in play, you know, it's not a pitch around saying, well, he's going to work around the 8th place hitter and, you know, go at the pitcher. The guy on deck is a position player, Tony Walters.
And immediately see the difference between the 2 leagues with that. And if that happens, then he's going to come up again, or Tony will, with the bases loaded. That'd be the 2nd time this inning that the bases have been loaded.
3-1 on Rayburn. Next pitch will be number 35 for Nova. It also reminds us again, I know we harped on this quite a bit last week when the Yankees were in town. So important when you're playing this Yankee team to be ahead after 6 innings.
You do not want to face
no run DMC.
Betances, Miller, and Chapman.
3-2. Strike 3. And that'll end the inning. So Rayburn called out on a pitch low and away. Rockies get 3. They have 5 hits in the inning. It all began with Charlie Blackmon taking a curveball off the foul pole and right. Great start for the Rockies in the Bronx. Marvelous start, top of the first inning. The Rockies put 3 up on the board, and it was so disappointing to these two Yankees fans. They're saying, you know what, we'll take a nap instead. Not going to watch that anymore.
I like keeping my eyes open for that last half inning.
Usually it's around the 5th inning, maybe 6th inning it hits you. Out.
Out in the first.
Yeah. Brett Gardner will lead off for New York against Chad Bettis. Gardner having a good June. He's hitting .350 in the month of June. Second time the Rockies have played at the new Yankee Stadium. Last time they were here, it was during Old Timers weekend. George was with us. Frazier was in uniform for the Yankees. Got to throw a couple of pitches. Here's the 1-0, and it's 2-0. It
was 2011. And the guy that started that last game, same guy that's starting for the Yankees tonight, Nova.
Ivan Nova. Rockies won just 1 of 3. Called strike. Bettis coming off a solid performance, a win against these Yankees last week. 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks.
His first win in 5 starts for Chad.
Yeah, he had those 4 rough ones in a row. Now he falls behind 3-1 on the very patient Brett Gardner. Gardner was an all-star for the first time in his career last season. Carlos Beltran has been such a tough out. He's on deck. Again, Ellsbury's sick tonight. That's why he's not in the lineup. First career start at Yankee Stadium for Bettis. Here's the 3-2. And a base hit. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order for Joe Girardi. After Beltran, A-Rod will be DH, and the Rockies barely saw him last week. He had 1 pinch hit appearance. Brian McCann, he'll bat cleanup. He had 2 home runs on Sunday. Starlin Castro. D.D. Gregorius had a good road trip. Chase Headley's been swinging it better of late. Aaron Hicks. And then Rob Refsnyder. He swung the bat well at Denver. Beltran takes a strike on the outside corner.
The Rockies did not see Beltran in Colorado. Was dealing with a sore knee.
He's really had an extraordinary year. He has 18 home runs. He hit 19 all of last year.
Just found the fountain of youth.
That ball's pulled off the bag, and Reynolds isn't going to get it to Bettis in time, and that's not handled. Sloppy, very sloppy. Bettis needed to break earlier, failed to.
Spot on, Drew. He just got caught watching, thinking it was going to be either down the line or Mark would have it. And so Mark didn't have anybody to throw to until it was too late. And then by that time, he should have held on to the ball. Chad gives up the hit, belt high to Beltran, and then he just stands there watching. By this time, it's too late. And you got to break right away, and then maybe Mark could have led him. Right now, he just needs to eat it because he's trying to throw it to a moving target.
Single and an error on Chad Bettis, not catching the throw. Now you're giving the Yankees a chance to counterpunch. Nobody out, first and third. Here's Rodriguez, and he takes outside.
That'll be the 2nd error on Chad this season.
And again, another error on a Rockies pitcher. The 13th this year. It's the most in baseball. Ground ball will get the run home. Should be a double play. So the Yankees get the run. And as of right now, to be an unearned run, depending on what happens the rest of the inning.
Numbers for Chad, 5-5 with the .563. After he beat the Yankees last time, dropped that ERA down, but his previous 4, he's 0-3 with 11.57. Fastball, slider, the usual 4-pitch mix. I just think Chad needs to throw a few more changeup, a few more curveballs. We kind of talked about Nova and how many fastball curveballs he throws without any other secondary pitches. I think Chad has those pitches to be able to use them more.
One strike on the veteran Brian McCann, and the fastball's up and in. McCann 2 home runs on Sunday. Had 3 hits on Sunday. His previous 25 games, he was hitting just 108. He's kind of, for me, tailored his swing to this ballpark. And I don't know if that's advisable or not, but he's hit most of his home runs since becoming a Yankee right here at Yankee Stadium. 51 of 69 home runs since joining the Yankees have come here at Yankee Stadium.
And all but 2 of them, so 8 of them have been to the pole side. 2 of them have been what they classified as center field, but probably a little bit more than center field, but that's McCann's swing.
All things considered, it could have been much worse. First and third, nobody out. The Yankees get what will turn out to be an unearned run. So it's 3-1 as we go to the second. Lead as we go to inning number 2. Here's our Office Liquidator Series storylines. Well, continue the momentum after hitting 5 home runs last night in Miami. The Rockies are 3-2 against the American League so far. They have struggled the last 3 years mightily. And the Bronx Bombers haven't been bombing. 18th in Major League batting average, 21st, most importantly, in runs scored per game. Tony Walters will lead it off in the second, 9-1-2 against Ivan Nova. And there's a bunt attempt, and it goes foul. Well, sometimes things are infectious, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
We had our 2 friends who were so ticked off at the Yankees' performance in the first inning that they fell asleep, right?
Yeah.
Well, now one of their neighbors has fallen asleep as well. They must have the turkey.
That usually hits you later on,
and
right?
See the guy with the fan behind him? He's ready to go. He's doing all he can to stay awake. This ball is lifted to Gardner and left. Tony Walters is retired, and that'll bring up Blackman. Charlie with his 9th home run in the first inning.
He jumped on this curveball from Nova. Got the Rockies on the board early. No depth to the curveball. A big loud ping off the foul pole in right field.
Charlie's now 3 for 6 lifetime against Nova. And a called strike. Rockies' first interleague series was in Boston. Charlie hit 391 against the American League so far this year. That is so key, Huey. I don't think we can overemphasize this. The fact that the Rockies have been decimated against the American League the last few years, that can't happen this year. And if somehow you can make some hay against the American League, you're playing the American League East primarily, you're also going to face a really good Texas Ranger team 4 times. If you can hang in there, that could be real beneficial to the Rockies as this season progresses, because everybody else in the National League West has to play, you know, Boston and Toronto and Baltimore and the Yankees. Tampa, obviously.
And you're playing a Yankees club that historically has been one of the best in baseball in interleague play.
They have been number one all time when interleague play began in '97.
Yeah, the other team that's second is the Red Sox.
2-2 with 1 out. And Blackman fouls it off. The Rockies the last 3 years were 17-43 against the American League. That's the worst mark in baseball. And the Yankees, they roll every year, it seems like, in interleague play. They've only had 2 seasons where they weren't above 500 in interleague play. 2-2 hit sharply, and this is going to be, we'll see what it is, off the chest of Refsnyder. Charlie reaches. Second topspin hop. I don't think he could get leather on it. He just tried to beat it into the ground.
Yeah, he was just trying to act like Henry Lundqvist does for the Rangers and just try to knock it down. Maybe make a glove save to be able to flip it over to first. Ow, off. That's more off the hand, but it will be an error on Refsnyder.
That'll bring up DJ. Running situation perhaps for Blackman. Nova's not super fast to the plate.
And DJ and Charlie, after they got back to the dugout, we had a picture of them just briefly, but what they were talking about, they weren't talking about Charlie's home run, which was pretty cool, or DJ's hit. They were talking about the move for Nova. That's what they were discussing. And he was telling me, you know, just watch the shoulder. Does it, you know, does he close it off as he's going to home?
Real subtle things that you guys watch on the bench to.
And that's what these guys were talking about, I guarantee it, because DJ was over there and he had enough looks at him to tell him what to focus on. Is it going to be the shoulder? Is it the left foot, or is it the right foot? Whichever you prefer, to give him that help.
He's going, and it's fouled off. DJ twisted himself into the ground. He's okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies up 3-1. Fans, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more in any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell with Jeff Houston and Jenny Cavnar. Jenny will be along shortly. I'm Drew Goodman. It's one of those, I don't want to say rare, but somewhat unusual situation for both the Mets and Yankees are home at the same time. Mets are playing an American League team tonight. They're playing the Kansas City Royals, the defending world champs, over in Queens.
You and I both read the papers here today. They're bemoaning the fact of the Mets and, you know, what's going to happen with their offense, and they're looking at Jose Reyes.
Charlie started and then shut it down. Jose Reyes was on the back of the New York Post. There was a huge shot of Reyes, and I forget what the accompanying headline was. Always entertaining with the Post in the news. And evidently the Mets are really kicking the tires on bringing back Reyes. Of course, he was raised a Met, still lives here on Long Island. There goes Charlie, and it's a ground ball through the left side and a base hit. Blackman will turn it up, go another 90 feet to third. So that connection at the top of the order clicking again. Blackman and LeMahieu with 1 out are aboard, and here comes Nolan Arenado.
And the reason this worked is because the Yankees switched up coverage. In these situations, you're thinking the second baseman will cover at second, but instead you start to see the shortstop Gregorius go. And because of that, he's moving to his left as the ball's hit back to his right, out of the reach on the Subaru Supermo.
Now, was that fortuitous or was that a read by DJ?
No, it was probably a bad pitch location, because the middle infielder is going to say if it's a fastball away, especially with somebody like DJ, he's going to hit it to right field. So that ball probably came back in, and DJ just pulled his hands and rolled over on it.
And with DJ's propensity to go to the right side, makes sense that they would cross up, change up the coverage. Inside, ball one on Nolan. Nolan reached on an infield hit. At first, he thought he was out. Great play up the middle by Gregorius. And then upon further review, he was ruled safe. Rockies got 3 in the first frame, threatening here. Outside. 2-0. Boy, they are forcing Nova to throw a ton of pitches. The next pitch will be number 50 with 1 out in the second.
And this is the same game plan that they tried to attack Nova with in Colorado. It didn't get to him quite as early, but they finally got to him in the 5th, and Nolan was one of those guys that hit a home run off of Nova.
DJ takes off, and this, he's going to get away from McCann. It'll be a stolen base for LeMahieu. 2 in scoring position now for Arenado.
7th stolen base of the year. So obviously the conversation that DJ and Charlie had was spot on, because DJ even looks back and now he's just saying, okay, I could just cruise in and just slow down with the slide at second.
That's one of the reasons they hang out together so much. Charlie says DJ's the smartest baseball guy he knows. 3-0 on Nolan. And this ball's hit to deep left field. Gardner's going to have a play. Tagging's Blackman. And he will score easily. And the Rockies have a 4-1 lead. So for Arenado, his 58th RBI. Swinging 3-0 if he got a pitch up, which he did.
I like it. I like this because now you get that run back at minimum that you gave up in the bottom half of the first inning. You figure he's going to come in, lay a fastball in there. That's the easiest one to try to hit in the air. And obviously Nolan did his job. You're helped out by the air by Refsnyder, allowing him to reach base. And they already have to have somebody getting warmed up. Nick Goody warming up in their bullpen.
McCann is in a squat. I was thinking they may pass on Cargo with first base open and Story on deck, go right on right. This may be the old
Pitcher.
Intentional walk.
To me, it's either put him on or pitch to him.
Well,
because if you make a mistake, he's going to make it add 2 more runs to the board.
Especially because you're going to go away, you assume. And we know Cargo hits the ball off the plate away very well. One and one. Patient Carlos Gonzalez. He had a base hit and an RBI in the first. He's now hitting 7 straight, 444 during the 7-game hitting streak. LeMahieu at second with 2 outs.
That was the location last night that Cargo swung a couple times. Got over anxious. That one was at the top of the Subaru strike zone, was called the ball though.
Two balls and a strike. And 3-1. If McCann glances at the dugout, he does right now. See if they want him to.
He's just telling him to put him on.
Kind of figured they would do this. So that'll give Trevor Story an opportunity. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Some more on last night. Again, all 8 runs that scored in the game last night were via solo home runs. 5 by the Rockies, 3 by the Marlins. The previous record in a game that didn't feature any other runs being scored was 5. And the 5 home runs the Rockies hit was a new record at Marlins Park. The previous record, held by 3 different teams, including the Marlins, was 4 home runs at Marlins Park. So a lot of records last night. That's a strike on Story. He fouled out to first. His first Yankee Stadium at bat. He's had a penchant for doing a lot of great things so far, but you know, goes to a new ballpark, one of those historic parks, hit a home run at Fenway, hit a home run at Dodger Stadium. He leads the National League in road home runs with 11.
And he hit a home run against the Yankees in the first game that he's faced the Yankees at Coors Field.
Behind 0-2. Trevor growing up like so many players, especially shortstops, an enormous Derek Jeter fan.
And why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was a leader among a lot of leaders on this Yankees team.
Trevor rolls it to third, bobbled by Headley, and he just did get Trevor Story. That'll end the inning. The Rockies get a run back. Blackman reached on an error, and he eventually scored on a fly ball by Nolan Arenado. Walt waited to see if they were going to review it. They are not. Middle of 2, Rockies up 4-1 in New York.
One lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Well, for Chad Bettis, it's all about repeating success. He had that against the Yankees his last outing at Coors Field. Talked with his battery mate and Tony Walters today, and he said it's really all about a combination of pitches.
He has 4+ pitches, and he's only been using 2 of them for a while. So he brought his curveball and changeup in the game, and it really did well for him. Brought a lot of separation with all his pitches and made his fastball look even harder.
And that's exactly what Huey was mentioning earlier, mixing in the curveball and the changeup a little bit more. He utilized them about 36% of the time against the Yankees. I talked with pitching coach Steve Foster about it too, and he said really Chad needs all 4 of those pitches to be successful. He got in a very complacent place where you can get comfortable. He was comfortable with the fastball and the slider mix, but being in a place that's comfortable and not taking risks doesn't always equal success. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone and get a little risky, and for Chad, that worked against the Yankees. We'll see if it can work again today, guys.
Yeah, Jenny, I think that's a great message to send to anybody that's thinking about pitching or playing this game. You know, sometimes it's easy to fall into a habit or a routine, but sometimes when you go out of it, though, you realize there's other stuff out there, and I can I can do it. And against the Yankees at home, this is where Chad, had to do something different. We talked about it in our open, and when we thought that there was a big start for him after coming off some rough ones. And in that start, he got 10 ground ball outs. It was just 3 flyouts to go along with 5 strikeouts, and the big number was 0 walks.
Zips a fastball over to Didi Gregorius. It's 0-1 after the strikeout to Starlin Castro. Gregorius swinging the bat well of late. Talked about this when he was in Denver. He's always hit the Rockies hard. $15 hits in his last 38 at bats. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 is driven to the gap in right center field. There's Gregorius doing his thing again. He's going to shut it down at second with a double. So a 1-out double. Yankees had only 2 extra base hits in the 2 games in Denver. They had 20 singles and 2 extra base hits. So with 1 out, Chase Headley will come up. Hey, our guest tonight on Toyota Takeover Tuesday is former Colorado High School star and former New York Yankee Brian Fisher, big right-hander. Tweet your questions for Brian to @RootSports_RM. Well, the natural question, Brian, it's been a while. What have you been up to? Switch hitting third baseman, another Colorado native, Chase Headley at the plate. Chase got off to a really slow start. He has picked it up the last 6 weeks.
He's got above 250, 253 now.
And that's on the ground. Easy play, Mark Reynolds. Chad Bettis gets there, wheels around after tagging the bag. 2 outs.
Got in the kitchen of Chase Headley.
That'll bring up Aaron Hicks.
And if you remember in Colorado, Aaron Hicks in the last game in his at-bats saw 4 pitches, swung at all 4 pitches to start off, so he likes to be aggressive.
Been hot lately, 5 for his last 12, and you're right, this is a guy that you can't feed a cookie to first pitch.
Do you throw just one of those curveballs, just kind of to get me over one, or a harder slider?
He went changeup away for a strike.
That's a good scouting report between Tony and Chad. They remembered.
And quickly a 2-strike count. Yankees as a team hit .233 in April, .232 in May. June they've been much better at .285. .02 and a ground ball foul. Whoa.
Wow.
Now let me ask you, I mean, it's an effective pitch because it was a slap. It almost went fair. For you, did it get a little bit too much of the plate?
Yeah, you wanted to start it off in that area and then end up away. So, but that one started off too close and then got enough where he could still reach for it. So you want to start it more off the plate. You can see on the Subaru strike zone that was painting the black, but you want to start it off the black and chase it even more.
And this is a weak ground ball to second. DJ bobbles, and that's going to cost the Rockies a run. Well, both teams have committed an error here, 1 in each inning, and that was a costly one. You may not see that again for 5 years with DJ LeMahieu. It's a routine ground ball.
I can't remember the last time he just booted a routine ground ball. That came up on him, but he's so smooth. That comes up and gets him on the hand, on the throwing hand of the Subaru Supermo. Think about this. We've already had 4 errors in this game, 2 by each side in just 2 innings.
Rob Refsnyder. He's swinging it well. His last 6, 8 for 19. They're going to have a decision, Joe Girardi and Brian Cashman, a longtime general manager, because Mark Teixeira is going to play 3 rehab games in Scranton. And if all goes well, he'll be activated on Saturday. Well, he's going to be your first baseman. He's only hitting $180, but he's Mark Teixeira. So who goes? Rob Refsnyder has options. They just signed last week when the Yankees were in town, Ike Davis.
So I think if you have options for somebody, and it's unfortunate for Rob, but I think he'll be the odd man out, because if you keep him, then you would have to get rid of Ike Davis, and then he leaves. But what happens if Teixeira's knee starts barking again in a week? And you don't have a backup for him.
It would seem most logical. Here's 0-2 on Refsnyder. And here's the group that have gone down already this year. Ackley out for the year with the shoulder. Greg Bird from Grandview High School, who was terrific last year, he was lost to a shoulder injury and subsequent surgery in spring training. Chris Parmalee is on the DL with a hamstring. 2-2. Boy, this game can be so humbling. You're used to it offensively. The Rockies' infield defense typically airtight, especially when you hit it to either DJ or Nolan. DJ is kicking himself, but it happens. This ball is well hit center field, coming on and lay it out, making the catch is Charlie Blackmon. What a play by Chuck Nasty. So another unearned run in the second. The Rockies leading it 4-2 in the Bronx. What a play. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the 2016 Toyota Tundra and your hometown Toyota stores. By Bank of the West, for a personal approach to banking, go west, Bank of the West. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And it is a gorgeous evening in the tri-state area. Rockies up 4-2 on the Yankees. First appearance at Yankee Stadium since 2011. Daniel Descalso Batting in the 6th spot in the order. He's the DH tonight for the Rockies against Ivan Nova. He takes strike one. Daniel had a little squibber up the third base line his first time up and turned it into an infield hit. And that pitch is called a strike. So 0-2. Sharply hit to second. Castro has it. Converted shortstop. Throws out Descalso. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Let's take a look at the stats the last 2+ years on the DH. The American League has hit 27 points higher. Almost a 200-point OPS delta. And I think in large measure, that is why when you go all the way back to 97, and certainly since 2004, why the American League has dominated the National League. That is a position that you pay big dollars for on your roster in the American League. The National League, you're taking somebody off your bench and inserting them. It's not to say that they're not a quality player, but you know what I mean.
It is different when you DH than it is when you're playing or then asked to pinch hit. And I think that's where the advantage goes for the American League, that they have guys that have done it before. They know what to do for that 45 minutes while they're just waiting till their next at bat. I mean, that's hard to do if you're used to playing or used to going playing defense. But to ask you to go and hit and then sit for 45 minutes, go hit, maybe 30 minutes from then go hit again, it's just not natural.
No, if, for instance, Daniel Descalso, who's been, more of a super utility guy, he's DHing for just the 2nd time in his career. And the Rockies as a whole have struggled with the DH the last few years in terms of producing solid numbers. I mean, really, are you going to roll into Boston? You're going to out DH David Ortiz?
You're going to roll, yeah.
You're going to roll it. Now, A-Rod's not having a good year. Last year he did.
Or
you're not going to out. You're not going to out. Probably you're not going to have a better player as a DH in the course of a series typically than a guy like A-Rod. This ball is cut off at second by Castro. And he just does get Ryan Rayburn. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Nova. The Rockies leading 4-2. Stadiums you go to, and you don't have to hear the announcer say they are at such and such. You look up at the top of that stadium, and It is unmistakably Yankee Stadium in New York. Top of the order for the longtime Bronx Bombers. Brett Gardner will lead it off, Carlos Beltran, and then A-Rod.
Just the uniforms. Come in here, pinstripes, just the numbers on the back, no names. Those haven't changed.
Whether you like them or not, you have to appreciate their history. This is going to be a base hit. Gardner with his second hit. Brian Fisher's with us at Hinckley High School. Asked him what he's been up to since retiring from the game. Been working a real job, watching some baseball and hanging out with my family. Good for you, Brian. I saw on Brian's Twitter account also he was asked by a fan about whether he preferred starting or relieving in the big leagues. He said, you know, and he really didn't have a preference. I think, you know, most big leaguers, Huey, yeah, you prefer, if you're a position guy, you prefer to start naturally. But as long as you get to walk in a big league clubhouse, put on a big league uniform every day, it's a good day, right?
That's what I prefer.
Yeah.
I prefer that over being whatever I wanted to be down in AAA. Meals are better, the flights are better, hotels nicer.
Yep.
And the competition's the best. That's what it all comes down to, competing against the best in the world that can play this grand game.
Yep, well put. 2 strikes on Beltran. He had an infield hit his first time up. Rockies put the shift on for the longtime switch hitter. Over 400 career home runs for Beltran. Strike 3 outside corner.
They went away. And then again, we talk about it every night. It's just how well received it is by Tony behind the plate.
Help me out with one thing here. You shift and you're a middle infielder and you're always going to look in. You're going to see, okay, breaking ball, I'm going to cheat a little bit to the pull side, off speed pitch, pull a little bit to the pull side. You have the shift on. There's one guy on the left side of the infield, yet you're throwing fastball away. If he contacts that on the ground, there's a high likelihood it's going through the left side.
Exactly, and you also can't warn somebody. If you're playing traditional, I say, where you know 2 guys there, if it's an off-speed pitch or a change, there's something going on, either the second baseman can let the first baseman know or the shortstop can let the third baseman know. But if you're the only guy there, you're out there by yourself.
A-Rod tardy on the swing. Ball, 1 strike. A-Rod bounced into a 5-4-3 double play his first time up. He does not, you know, he's 40+ years of age. He does not run well at all anymore. He hits it on the ground. It's almost an automatic double play. Last year, A-Rod shocked everybody after being off for more than a year, having a tremendous season. Hit a ton of home runs this year.
And at his age.
And at his age. This year it's been much more difficult so far.
33 home runs last year.
He had 250. The 33 home runs. He drove in 86. And remember, in 2013, he played in only 44 games. And he really missed the better part of 2 years. 1-2, and A-Rod's gone. Good pitch, he knew it. Chad Bettis, after the base hit by Gardner, freezes Beltran and A-Rod, and that'll bring up McCann.
Knee buckler. Jenny talked about it. Tony Walters talked about incorporating more curveballs, more sliders and changeups. A-Rod knows it. All he can do is walk back to the dugout, back-to-back strikeouts looking for Chad.
McCann out in front. It's 0-1. Bryant struck out swinging his first time. Rockies up 4-2. Both runs for the Yankees unearned runs. Bettis committed an error in the first. And DJ LeMahieu a rare miscue. Last inning. Shift on. And it's 0-2. How about Brian McCann? 8 straight years he's hit at least 20 home runs. For a catcher, there's only 2 guys that have done it longer. The late, great Yankee Yogi Berra. 10 straight years of at least 20 home runs. And a guy that'll be inducted in a few weeks into Cooperstown, Mike Piazza. They're running out of numbers to hand out. There's 21 numbers you can't have if you come up with the Yankees. 20 officially. I don't think they're going to hand out number 2 to anybody.
Oh, so that means 1 through 10. You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You
Pick another number. If that's
right, you get
4's your
numbers.
favorite, 5's your favorite, whatever. Yeah, you can maybe take 0. But besides that, you start in the teens.
When's the official ceremony for Jeter's jersey, I wonder?
Thought they might do it the day after he retired.
It would have been fitting, right? I think there was something like 8 Rockies that if they played for the Yankees couldn't have the number they wear. 0-2 on McCann. Day. You may just have to go back to the real old days. Nobody has a number on their jersey.
Maybe they'll switch it up and just put the name there then.
Yeah, this is up the middle. It's a base hit. I'll bring up Starlin Castro. Well, Mark Knudsen, former big league pitcher, former Colorado State Ram, has a question for Brian. You're so good working with kids. Why aren't you coaching Colorado high school baseball anymore? Is that Walt's fault? Walt got me kicked out of too many high school games. Walt, formerly the head coach at Regis High School down in Parker.
And Brian was with him down at Regis for a time.
And they were all together under Steve Kavnar. Jenny, you know anything about this Kavnar guy?
I heard he was pretty good at coaching high school baseball.
I
don't know why he retired.
Well, because he won a championship in his last year. He said, I better retire now.
He did it twice. He won one at Smoky Hill, retired, and then won one at Regis and retired. Maybe that's the key to success.
This is bounced up the middle. Story on the move. Castro can run. He got him by a stride. Couple of hits, couple of men left, couple more strikeouts as well for Chad Bettis. We move to the 4th. The Rockies up a pair of runs.
Yankees as we head to the top of the fourth. There's Walt Weiss, saw his good buddy Joe Girardi last week in Colorado, and he had the chance to tell him why he wasn't surprised he became the skipper of the Yankees.
You were always our leader, and I wasn't surprised when you started managing, because you know you're always that guy out front. You were the leader. You were the one never afraid to take the bullets. You held people accountable, and so when you jumped into that role, I'm like, man, JoJo, man, he's managing in the pinstripes. He jumping right in, man. But I said, you know what? He was born to do this, man. I really did.
And today before the game, another great sign of leadership from both of these managers. They were able together to recognize all the victims, the fallen victims from Orlando and the horrible mass shooting that happened in our country. The Yankees recognized with an honor of silence. So for Walt Weiss and Joe Girardi to be able to come together, what a symbolic moment as we all stand united with Orlando, guys.
Yeah, Jenny, well put. Special moment tonight to honor the victims in Orlando. Tony Walters hits this in the air to center. And just to echo what you were talking about, two great leaders. I mean, Walt is very self-effacing, but Walt was a terrific leader when he played. And those two guys have such great mutual respect, and it's a great friendship. Walt Weiss and Joe Girardi, two guys that were leaders, two guys that played with an edge, two hard-nosed guys, two guys that will hold you accountable, and two of the most likable managers in the game of baseball.
And they always played the game the right way. Played against Walt a number of times, and I played with Joe for a year in Chicago, and you just knew, as Walt was saying a moment ago, he was always the leader, the guy out in front, wasn't afraid to voice his opinion on what should be done and what needed to be done.
1-0 on Charlie. He's had a big night so far. He scored a couple runs, hit a long home run off the top of the foul pole in right, leading off the game, then reached on an error by Rob Refsnyder on a hard hit ball, and would come around to score on a sac fly by Nolan Arenado. 4-2 Colorado. Outside, it's now 3-0 on the bearded one. Pretty night in the Bronx. That's a strike.
Well, he hasn't gone back to the curveball after Chuck Nasty took him out in the first inning.
Charlie lifts this ball to deep right field. It's got a chance to get out. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. Blackman makes it 5-2. His 10th of the year, second of the night.
Charlie said, "You're not going to throw me a curveball? That's fine. Go ahead and throw me the fastball." Tried to come inside. Charlie says, "I know what to do with this pitch." One more look. I mean, same swing that he had in the first inning. Same result. This one was a 3-2 pitch. Fourth time in his career that he's had multi-home runs in a ball game.
Pull the ball in the air in right field, you have a good chance at trot. DJ's 2 for 2. 4 career multi-home run games, as Jeff just told you, second time this year. This ball's well hit to center field, and it's tracked down out there by Aaron Hicks. Well, we talked about since 2009, this ballpark has relinquished more home runs than any other. Camden Yards in Baltimore second, Rogers Center in Toronto, so 3 all in the American League East, and then Coors Field. I don't think many people, I don't even think the folks who cover the Yankees on a daily basis know that. I think if you ask them which park relinquishes more home runs, Yankee Stadium or Coors Field, they tell you Coors Field's got to be, right?
Has to be. That's all they ever hit is home runs.
Castro makes the catch, ends the inning as Nolan is retired, but the Rockies put another marker on the board courtesy of Charlie Blackmon. Have a night, Chuck. 5-2 Rockies. Golden West viewers from Cable 1 in Pocatello, Idaho. Thanks for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. Be sure to tell us where you happen to be watching from this evening on Twitter at @RootSports_RM. Rockies up 5-2. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Jenny Kavnar. Didi Gregorius with a double to right center in his first at bat. And he scored the second run. And when DJ misplayed a ground ball that would have ended the inning off the bat of Aaron Hicks.
And in these 2+ games now, Didi Gregorius is the one guy for the Yankees that he just really scares you when he's at the plate.
Just think about when he was with Arizona. We used to say the same thing. Well, the Rockies and Chad Bettis get him this time. 1 out, and that'll bring up Chase Headley. A little bit more on Coach Kavnar. Steve was a good coach, but his assistants were awesome.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Again, Brian Fisher with us all night. We appreciate it on our Twitter takeover.
Did a clinic with Fish a few years ago down in Colorado Springs for the Alumni Association.
Hard shot by Headley, but right at Mark Reynolds. 2 outs.
Well, the assistants were awesome. My dad always knew how to surround himself with great people. I mean, you know, he had me as his daughter, right? Crickets.
Yeah,
you know what, Jenny? We didn't have a chance to respond, but you knew it was going to be cricket. So yes, you're right. You're right on the money.
That's why I jumped the gun.
Yes.
For you.
We didn't even have a chance to respond.
I know this much. With you and your brother, but mostly probably because of you, your dad has the patience of Job, which probably helped him as a great high school baseball coach. Still coaching golf, Steve is, right?
Yes, he's still an assistant at Regis Jesuit and still teaching math, which is crazy. Like, not the easy stuff, because we all know that gene clearly didn't get passed to me. This guy teaches calculus. Yeah.
Calculus.
I mean, where do you use that in life? I always ask him that question.
And I'm sure he has some fine reply back to you.
Yes, he does. In fact, I think that, oh, thank you for the cricket noise. I think that
Yeah, that's nice.
That's good.
Corey Sullivan and I tried to do some calculus in regards to baseball, and, well, let's just say the Wake Forest grad did all the work.
Breaking ball and a strike, and it's 1-2 on Aaron Hicks. You know, I basically think that calculus was invented to mess up your GPA.
Messed up mine.
Me 3.
2 and 2.
My dad gave me a
3 and
C.
2.
Do you guys know this story?
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh,
He gave me a
ouch.
C. And he said,
He
no.
raised your grade from a flag to a
That's
C?
exactly it. He said, no, you earned that C. And that's when I realized tough love.
3-2 on Hicks, and he strikes him out. Chad at 94 up at the chest, and that is strikeout number 5 from Bettis, who is pitching very well here in the Bronx. 5-2 Colorado. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Reserve Casino, I-70 West, exit 243 in Central City. And by GMC. How beautiful is that? What a shot. The Chrysler Building on the right, the Empire State Building on the left. Oh goodness. I went to Yankee Stadium and I got 8 good hours of sleep. This ball is roped by Cargo and it's over the head of Beltran. That thing just ate him up, and the throw into second's not going to get him. Wow. That's got to be scored a double. I don't know if I've seen that from a major league outfielder in a while. That ball was hit so hard, Beltran never moved, and it went right over his head.
And it didn't even jump for it, didn't attempt to put his glove up. I mean, Cargo came into interleague play this season, or this year, hitting .591, and now it'll go up over 600.
That was almost like you catch a knuckleball. You wait till it stops rolling, you pick it up and throw it back in. So Cargo's 2 for 2 on an intentional walk, and the Rockies back in business here in the top of the 5th with Trevor Story at the plate. Trevor fouled out and hit a bouncing ball to third. The only thing that kept that in the ballpark is he hit the top half of the ball.
Shows you the difference in Cargo and some other players. Because I'm sure Beltran was thinking, well, this thing is going to just kind of hook, you have a humpback liner to me. and then it just kept rising over his head, but he still didn't move. That's how he's, what, 300, 290 feet away from home plate, and he still couldn't judge it.
And it locked him up. Nick Goody's up again for the Yankees, second time. And this is a wild pitch, and McCann doesn't know where it is. They're going to have to bring the infield in now. Great opportunity for Trevor Story to get the Rockies a 6th run.
And he's sitting 2-0. Nova's been all over the place. McCann's thinking it's going to be over the plate, and he just held on to that too long. Now the infield will come in. Just look for a ball up and away to elevate. Get it in the air somewhere in the outfield. You'll score a run.
3-0. Daniel Descalso on deck. Inside, ball 4, and now Trevor jogs down to first, and that will shape the defense or alter the defense. And you have great speed at first base, plenty of speed at third with Descalso coming up. Nobody out in the 5th. Ron Nova is not long for this game. In fact, guess what? He's done. So Joe Girardi, he's going to have to go and get Ivan Nova, who gives him just 4 innings and 2 batters.
And giving up 8 hits, and right now minimum of 5 runs, could be a 6th or a 7th when Goody comes in. And he will hear the boo birds as he departs.
They let you know here, don't they? 5-2 Colorado. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. It's been an enjoyable evening so far in the Bronx. At the Yankees' home, the Rockies are not being polite guests. They're up 5-2. They've knocked Ivan Nova out of there in the 5th inning. Runners at first and third, and Nick Goody will take over. We saw Goody in Denver briefly.
18th appearance of the year for Nick. Fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball be 89 to 93 miles an hour. The slider about 80 to 84.
Daniel Descalso will come up. Story takes a lead off first base. Cargo at third.
Well, while we have a moment, we'll tell you about the arms in the outfield for the Yankees. Brett Gardner in left is just average across the board. Aaron Hicks has the strongest arm almost of anyone maybe in the league. Accuracy is right at average, and Carlos Beltran just a tick above on strength and accuracy.
There goes Story, and the throw to second, not going to get him. Story has his 5th stolen base, and now 2 in scoring position.
And the 2nd stolen base tonight by the Rockies as a
Story
club.
okay.
Look at his hand or his face.
Honestly, hopefully it was his face, and I mean that in that scrape on the face versus a finger jammed or worse.
And you can see all the dirt on his jersey, and so when you hit, it'll almost catapult you, so your face will go down in your dirt, and then your feet come up over the top of you, just like that, and it bounces your head off that ground, and it momentarily stuns you. You think back to, that looks like Matt Holliday sliding into home.
Yeah, every time we see that, Huey, did you go? I'm trying to remember. Did you go feet? You went feet first.
No, I went head first a lot. Yeah, but he got his arms caught back too much behind him, and he just couldn't stop himself.
So now they're not as worried about cuts; they're worried about, you know, potential concussion.
Right
obviously.
there, ow. The reason I went more head first into second base, it was easier to go out and slide out and around a tag and still hold on to the base.
Well, Trevor evidently is okay. Rockies trying to keep the pressure on. That's what you have to do, especially in this ballpark. Very offensive ballpark, as we've discussed throughout the evening. 5-2, they're up, 2 in scoring position. The infield comes in again. And Descalso has a 1-1 count. Daniel hitting over 400 out on the road so far this year. It's another very cerebral person to begin with, but baseball player. He'll try to shorten up, get it in play here. Behind in the count, 1-2 against Goody. Well, that's a pitch he's trying to erase you on. It's a strikeout type of pitch, the back foot slider, and he stayed off at 2-2.
The thing you have in your advantage right now, if you're Colorado, is Nova and Goody throw about the same speed. Now, Nova had the curveball where Goody has the slider, but their fastballs will sit right around 91 to 93. I mean, it's not going to be electric, overpower you at 95 to 97. But it's just being able to pick up the slider now from Nick.
And it's 3-2. Mark Reynolds is coming up next.
Now as a hitter, you think, wow, okay, I'm back. I'm in the driver's seat now at 3-2.
You gotta think you're gonna get that fastball.
At least you feel more relaxed. Whatever it is, whether it's a fastball or the slide, you just feel more relaxed. I feel better. I don't feel so defensive standing in the box.
He got slider and he struck him out. That froze Descalso, 1 out.
And it definitely caught the Subaru strike zone. That was just, I was expecting something else. Took it. Left an RBI opportunity out there. Now it's up to your teammate to pick you up.
League hitting .275 against Goody. Reynolds drives it to deep left field, and this one is off the wall. 1 run is scored. Story had to wait. He'll go to third and pause on the double by Reynolds, and the Rockies are up 6-2.
The second RBI tonight for Mark, and I'm just laughing because that ball was hit so hard that Trevor couldn't score from second base. Tried to throw the same pitch, the same slider that he struck Daniel out with. But Mark takes it off the wall on the Subaru Supermo, and then Brett Gardner playing it on the hop perfectly to get it back in.
Fastball, a called strike on Rayburn. Struck out looking on a 3-2 borderline pitch his first time, and then a ground ball to second. Again, the infield in, second and third, one out. Same situation for Rayburn that Mark Reynolds just had. 9 hits for the Rockies. 0-2.
Yeah, Ryan shaking his head, needs to cut down the swing. Just a little too big on that last swing.
Reynolds been swinging the bat. 2 home runs yesterday, a couple more ribbies tonight. And he got him on a slider. So Rayburn goes down, and now with 2 outs, the infield drops back, and Tony Walters will come up.
Fans, the first 20,000 through the gates on Sunday, June 26, will receive a stroke awareness beverage wrap courtesy of Strikeout Stroke.
Tony is 0 for 8 since coming off the disabled list. Now would be time to get that first knock since returning to active duty. Up high, ball 1. Tuno.
Let me correct myself on what's happening. The Great Clip Stylist, this is the one I wanted to read, will be on site Wednesday, June 29th, providing haircuts and collecting donations for the Colorado Rockies Baseball Club Foundation.
Story at third, Reynolds at second. 2-0 to Walters. Tony's hit a couple of fly balls so far in the game. And he's a guy that you want hitting the ball with his speed, hitting the ball on the ground more. You don't want him working underneath the ball, do you, Jeff?
No, the last couple swings just dropping the back shoulder just too much.
2-2.
Just nip the bottom of the Subaru strike zone.
Now the Rockies do get a run, could have been more. Get it in play on a couple of occasions. The Rockies have a 6-2 lead, however, in the Bronx, middle of 5. Grand Central Terminal in Midtown, 42nd and Vanderbilt to be exact. And architecturally, what a magnificent place. We're in the Bronx, just 3 blocks here from where my dad grew up. Walk across the street, play in McCombs Dam Park, and would walk across McCombs Dam Bridge. He did not like the Yankees growing up. His father didn't like the Yankees. That's passed down. They all grew up right here on the Grand Concourse, 164th in the Concourse. They'd walk across the bridge, across the Harlem River to 155th and 8th Avenue in Manhattan. And that's where the Polo Grounds were. Ref Snyder hits it on the ground to short. Nice play by Story, 1 out. And he was, and that was passed down, a huge, huge fan of the New York baseball Giants and also the New York football Giants. That's what both Giants played. When the Giants went west to San Francisco, he, like many New Yorkers, adopted the new team. A lot of Brooklyn folks did also, the New York Mets.
He says, I'm not having anything to do with these Yankees.
No, and again, the interesting thing is that, you know, I've told this story many times, is that they literally grew up and you can see Yankee Stadium from their apartment.
But he just walked past it.
Walked past it.
How about the trio of center fielders that were playing during that time?
One out. Gardner's 2 for 2. He takes a strike.
I mean, you think about the center fielders. I mean, you get, who's better? You got Mantle, you got Mays, Duke Snyder.
Pretty special times in New York. Oakland, of course, played at Ebbets Field. Polo Grounds, Ebbets Field, long gone. That's why I think it's really neat. We discussed this when we were in Boston, that the Red Sox continue to renovate Fenway Park. The Cubs continue to renovate Wrigley Field. And the Yankees, listen, it was a different situation, and they did what they did. And they basically built a modernized facsimile of the old ballpark. But, you know, for many native New Yorkers and longtime Yankee fans, not that they don't come, but it's a walk down to Gardner with 1 out. But it won't replace the house that we built. And there's Combs Dam Park. Now they've modernized that too. When they built the new Yankee Stadium, they had to move some things around, and they made a really nice recreational facility. Got turf fields across the way as well.
Oh, and you and I were getting off the subway today right here to 161st, and it says, you know, Yankee Stadium. As we're walking in the ballpark, looking off to the left and seeing the kids play over in that ballpark. I mean, that was pretty special.
Yeah, they will tell, as you know, my father did. You know, they'll tell stories about growing up in the shadow of Yankee Stadium. Pretty neat. 0-1 on Beltran, and he pulls this one foul. Carlos, an infield hit, and he was caught looking.
Still has a quick bat inside, as evidenced by that foul ball.
Well, Beltran, one of the premier switch hitters of all time. You mentioned Mickey Mantle. He obviously is, if not the best, one of the 2 or 3 best. Eddie Murray, Chipper Jones. This ball is right at
it hit the bag.
See that coming?
Yep.
A break for the Yankees. Gardner will go first to third. That would have been a double play.
And it's not like Trevor could come get that ball and get it before it went to the bag. He was just waiting for that last hop so he could catch it, go step on the bag, and then make the throw to first. But it hits the corner of it and kicks to Trevor's left. Right now, Trevor's in position, right? I'm ready. No, not going to happen now after hitting the bag. This would be the better look on the Subaru Supermo. You see by the reach of Trevor that it went away from him and down.
So here's A-Rod, 5-4-3 double play, and he was frozen on a curveball his last time up. And this ball is lifted high and deep left center field, way back. Not deep enough. It'll work as a sac fly. And out at second base. Did the run score?
Yeah, they are saying the run did score, but that was close. What a throw from Ryan and attack from DJ.
So Rayburn nails Beltran trying to move up. And the run will count on the sac fly by A-Rod. It is 6-3. Top of the 6th inning. Let's show that play again, that end of the inning split screen. Watch when Gardner scores and the out is recorded. He scored, and that's why that run counts, and then the out is recorded.
And Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire, he got in position where he could see both plays happening at the same time, and he emphatically signaled that that run did count.
Here's Charlie Blackmon. Yankees already tired of seeing him. Charlie, 2 for 3, 2 home runs, 2 solo home runs, reached on an error and scored. So he scored 3 runs tonight. Nick Goody in relief of Ivan Nova came on, and he gave up an RBI double to Reynolds. Reynolds hit it so hard off that left field wall that Story, who was on second, could only move up 90 feet. He had to wait to see if Gardner would have a play. The Rockies struck out 3 times in that inning, didn't get any other runs. This is a good enough offense. But you got to keep talking about the Yankees. You got to keep your foot on the accelerator.
You do. You don't want in this ballpark. You don't want them to scratch out 2 runs here, 1 run, and then you're into that back into that bullpen. That's what you're always trying to avoid when you're facing the Yankees. You don't want DMC.
The other thing is the Yankees, after a slow start in April at home, have played very good baseball in the Bronx. Not altogether different from being in Los Angeles. Folks getting off work a little later. Now it's started to really fill in. Typically a large crowd naturally to watch Yankees baseball. 2-2.
Maybe there was no more room on the subway because it was pretty packed when we came this afternoon. We were packed in there like sardines.
Kidding me? It's hard to you couldn't move around if you wanted to. was fouled off. But we made new friends, and that's the
yes, we did.
thing.
That's some nice New Yorkers. We have some fireworks coming up, and you'll want to catch the best fireworks show in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th, following the game against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Charlie's seeing the ball well.
Yeah, when you have 2 home runs and you've hit one as a curveball, the other's a fastball.
Three and two. It's the 10th time in Charlie's career he has scored 3 runs in a game or more. And here's the even better news. The Rockies are 8-1 in the previous 9. It's 4 strikeouts for Goody. Mark Stout has a question for Brian Fisher, who's with us on our Twitter takeover night. Hey, Brian, did you know Goose when you took his 54 in pinstripes? He was with the Padres then. I did not know Goose at the time. I knew who he was. They gave me the number. Because we're both from Colorado, and they said I make the uniform look better. Well, listen, Goose was a big guy. Brian Fisher was a big guy, so they both could fill out that 54. DJ's 2 for 3 tonight, and that's a called strike. Rockies, after losing 3 of 4 in Miami, are 18 and 20 out on the road. Still in a real good place away from home. 0-2. And here's something interesting. The Rockies, as indicative of why they're playing so well on the road, is that they're hitting home runs out on the road. The most ever, other than 1997, when they averaged almost a home run and a half out on the road. But this year they're averaging 1.16.
They now have 46 home runs out on the road in 38 and a half games. You haven't finished this game. It could be a couple more.
Back up the middle, and that'll be a base hit.
That just got past the pitcher, in between the shortstop and the second baseman. Off the end of the bat for DJ, well placed, and another hit. Gonna make that 3 tonight, to go along with 3 that DJ had last night. So it was the miss by Goody, just out of the reach on the Subaru Supermo by Didi Gregorius. But even if Starlin Castro reaches it, he's not going to throw out DJ.
With speed at first. And a strike on Nolan. Base hit for Arenado. Sac fly and a pop to second. 20 home runs, 58 driven in now. Rockies have hit double figures in hits with that knock by LeMahieu. They have 10. Line to deep left, stay fair, it may be gone. It is a home run. Nolan Arenado. 2 more on the board for the Rockies. number 21.
And now 60, count them, 60 RBIs for Nolan. 3 tonight. And what did I say a moment ago? You have 46 home runs in 38.5 games. Now make it 47 home runs out on the road.
And Huey, the Rockies are taking advantage of how short it is down both lines.
8 home runs in the last two days. Right down the line. 318, that was about 325. Doesn't matter. I like the 8-3 lead myself.
Runs. Nolan Arenado a home run. And you know what that means? Everybody gets tacos tomorrow. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. So Richard Blyer will take over. Cargo will step up. RBI single in the first, an intentional walk, and then he doubled over the head of Carlos Beltran his last time, and this is on 2 hops to second. Cargo busting it up the line. Out by a step or so.
Go take another look at this swing from Nolan and the home run to produce his 21st. Well, he missed his location up in the Subaru strike zone, but Nolan doesn't miss the baseball. And you're just hoping it clears that foul pole on the right side, and it did.
So Nolan moves in front of Adam Duvall for the National League lead in home runs. He leads in RBIs with those 60. 2 outs. Story takes a strike. Rockies faced Blyer in Denver, and they beat him up pretty good. 3 runs on 5 hits in an inning and a third.
Non-roster invitee during spring training. Signed as a minor league free agent back in February.
Way outside. Rockies had 2 3-run victories against the Yankees in Denver. 13-10 and 6-3. These 2 guys have done some damage tonight. This ball is ripped to right field. This will be extra bases, and it'll be a ground rule double for Story.
They usually just throw home runs back here at Yankee Stadium. This time they even threw this double back and went up into the stands.
Good swing.
He stayed on it, stayed through the baseball, goes up into the stands, and we won't see it, but just after that they threw it back. No, we don't even want a double.
Descalso against Blyer. He had a 2-run triple against Blyer in Denver. 8 runs, 12 hits for the Rockies. 3 runs, just 6 hits allowed by Chad Bettis, and 2 of those 3 runs are unearned.
You talk about winning innings. I mean, that's what you're trying to do at the end of the night, win more innings than the other team. And tonight the Rockies have done that. They won the first inning, they tied the second, won the fourth, tied the fifth. They're winning here in the 6th. I mean, just methodical about what you're doing.
2-1.
Just looking at that scoreboard, 3 in the first really set the tone for tonight. And it had been easy to kind of sleepwalk, come in. And, you know, these guys are human. Yeah, we have great travel. We have a chartered plane that stay at the best hotels. The beds are wonderful, but you're still going to bed at 5 in the morning.
Speak for yourself. I think it was like closer to 5:30, but I fell out. 2-2, and this is slowly hit to Headley, and he'll get it across to end the inning. The Rockies get 2 more. After the base hit by LeMahieu, Nolan Arenado with his 21st of the year. 8-3 Rockies, middle of 6 in New York. That, of course, is the Brooklyn Bridge, and all of those folks are getting tickets.
Going too fast?
You kidding me? You can't drive that fast.
Have you walked across the Brooklyn Bridge?
No, I haven't. I've driven across the Brooklyn Bridge. It's been a long time, though. Have you walked across
yes,
the Brooklyn
I have.
Bridge? I've taken a boat underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. Brian McCann is 1 for 2. Brian had a ground ball single up the middle his last time up. Chad Bettis tonight. He's ahead 0-2. Chad Bettis tonight has thrown his fastball only 36.8% of the time. His average since the start of last year is 59%. He is really mixing things up. That's a changeup. And it goes back to what Tony Walters told Jenny Kavnar before the ball game that they're endeavoring to use his whole arsenal as opposed to just being kind of a two-pitch guy. It's foul. You know what? He's been overshadowed by all the offense tonight, Jeff. And you see 3 runs up there, so you say, well, he's been good, not great. He actually has been very good. Again, 2 runs were unearned.
Those were in the first and the second inning. In the last inning, they got the double play after the sac fly.
And he gets a strikeout of McCann. And that is strikeout number 6. This is the Chad Bettis that we saw in April.
And only 78 pitches.
That'll bring up Starlin Castro. Here's our answer to this week's CenturyLink high-speed challenge. Again, the question, which pitcher leads the Rockies? Fastest tempo. Butler, Bettis, or Chatwood? And most of you felt it was Chad Bettis. That's who I would have voted for, and it is Chad Bettis. This is line to right, a base hit for Castro. Glad everybody participated. The major league average is 21.7. Did you notice that? So Chad's 2 seconds faster than the major league average. D.D. Gregorius, 1 for 2.
If you're wondering about Eddie, he'll start on Thursday at home against Arizona. The pace, Eddie's just 3/10 behind Chad. And Tyler 3/10 behind Eddie.
Gregorius fouls it off his leg. Well, Eddie's getting another opportunity to get in the rotation. Hopefully he's able to take advantage of it. Open up that series with Arizona when the Rockies get home.
Matched up against Zach Greinke.
Greinke, who got off to the really poor start in his new uniform, is now pitching like Zach Greinke. 10-3 now, right?
Yeah, with the 3.54 ERA.
Well, and his ERA looked like a bowling average for about a month. A pretty good bowling average.
That's what I was going to say. A great bowling average.
Center field and deep. Blackman going back, still going back. Leaps, can't make the catch. And this could be one of those inside the park jobs. Gregorius is going to get a green light. Nope. Stopped at third. Crowd is upset with Joe Espada, but Espada is mindful of the fact that his club is down.
If this ball game's tied or they're up, you would have seen Espada give him the green light. Charlie looking up the big board to see how he missed this and where he missed it. And trying to track and run and look and worry about the roll. All of that for Charlie as it just goes off the end of his glove. I mean, how close is this on the Subaru Supermo? Missed it by 2 inches.
How did it shoot so hard to Charlie's left, way outside?
Behind those fences, and even with the padding, there's poles that are holding it up, and it must have careened off one of those and kicked the other way, because it didn't seem like it should go that far.
Headley 0 for 2. 1-1 on Chase Headley. Batting .315 his last 37 games. And he got off to a really slow start. 1-2. Headley's best season in the big leagues. Back when he was with the Padres in the NL West, 2012, hit 286, 31 home runs. And at Petco, when Petco wasn't giving up runs, he drove in 115, which led the National League. That was an extraordinary season. 1-2, good block by Walters. I'm telling you, every time the Rockies see ads, I know we're a broken record. Didi Gregorius turns into Babe Ruth.
Every time he does something.
Got a big strikeout. Bettis buried a slider, 2 outs.
Huge pitch.
7 strikeouts for Chad.
And the location of it. You know, Headley was just trying to get it in play, to hit it on the ground, get that run in. Chad outsmarted him. Gonzalez Germain just got up. That's only his 3rd or 4th toss out in the bullpen.
Aaron Hicks 0 for 2.
Career high in strikeouts for Chad is 8. He's done that once this year against Arizona.
Two and nothing on Hicks, the former Minnesota Twin. Life on that fastball.
Late life. That was running away from Hicks. He's surveying everything. Back to the slider.
Good pitch. Kept it down.
And away on the Subaru strike zone. That's, you couldn't reach out and put it in a better spot.
See if he goes back up high with a fastball. East west, north south. They want it up and in.
Wow.
Good frame by Tony Walters. Such soft hands.
Trying to get him to fish on the hip side fastball. Jumped back, but it was in just a skosh.
Dummy shake, fastball away. And the nod of the head right there is Tony Walters selling Chad Bettis on, hey, I think this is the pitch.
And that's what you want. You want the guy to be able to be strong in his conviction on what he wants you to throw.
3-2, strike 3 at the knees, all because of Tony Walters. He stole that pitch. And the Rockies and Chad Bettis get off the field, stranding Gregorius at 3rd. That was all Tony Walters. 8-4 Colorado.
And with the lead, and we heard earlier from Walt Weiss about his relationship with Joe Girardi. Of course, they were teammates with the Colorado Rockies. Girardi has now been the manager of the Yankees for 9 seasons here, and it's something that he also knew would be a future for Walt Weiss.
I'm not surprised that Walt became a manager, because when I used to watch him play shortstop, he understood the game. I mean, he really understood everything about the game and took charge in the infield. And what I've said about Walt is people are always attracted to Walt. He's easy to be around, he makes you laugh, but he has a real sense of the game and what needs to be done to be successful. And, you know, I thought it was a great fit here. He played here, he understands being in this region, he lives here, and I'm not surprised he's doing a great job. He's been a great baseball guy for a long, long time.
And you can see more of that conversation between those two managers coming up in the club on Sunday. It was a conversation we got to record at Coors Field last week. It was just really neat for them to get a talk in their managerial careers about just how difficult this day and age is as well, you know, with social media, how to protect your players. A very different era than when those two were playing, especially with the Rockies. They also got to reminisce about their time at Coors Field, opening Coors Field in 1995. And I loved it because one of the first things Joe said to Walt when they connected was, "Can you believe that some of our teammates have kids getting drafted now?" They finally realized that they're getting older in this game as well. So you're right, Drew, you mentioned it's such a unique friendship for both of these guys, and fun that they get a matchup head-to-head this year in a home and home.
Yeah, 2 great guys, and that conversation, just hearing snippets of it, I can't wait to see it in its entirety on the club, Jenny. That's a great conversation that you initiated with those 2 good friends. And Joe's son Dante, we were talking to Joe before the ball game. His son Dante's a freshman in high school, a 3-sport star: football, basketball, and baseball.
I thought it was funny what Joe was saying about Dante, that he weighs more now than Joe did when he graduated, and Dante's just a freshman.
Yeah, he's pushing close to 170 pounds. Joe said I was 165 when he went off to Northwestern. Reynolds retired. Ryan Rayburn at the plate. Ryan went around 0-1. Richard Blyer, 3rd pitcher tonight for the Yankees. They got just 4 innings out of Ivan Nova. This ball lined to left, and a base hit for Rayburn.
Go back to this pitch that ended this last inning. Watch Tony just subtly catch it and raise it, just stealing that strike to get Chad out of that jam. I mean, this is just a smart baseball guy, but you look at the numbers and stealing strikes and what he can do. Tony is arguably one of the best, especially with that low strike.
Well, as we all know, they measure everything now, and he is one of the best statistically at stealing strikes, framing pitches. He has magical hands, and to be able to take a sinking fastball and raise it, because if you ever caught somebody who had a good sinker, I mean, it's like a bowling ball, and naturally most guys, good catchers, can take their hand down and seem like it's more out of the strike zone. He was able to subtly raise it up and sell it to Adam Hamari.
And with those sinkers too, for catchers, you're talking to them, they said, man, that's the one that'll catch the thumb, and that hurts. And what it does when it catches the thumb, if it doesn't set right, it'll turn your glove over and drop it out of the zone even more. But not for Tony. He's able to still catch it and lift it at the same time.
1 ball, 1 strike. You know, one of the things that Mark Strittmatter teaches, who's the Rockies' roving catching instructor, and we bragged on how good Mark is working with catchers. Mark was a heck of a catcher himself. Is that he teaches to turn with a good sinker ball, turn your body, just angle it a little bit. This way it's easier, you know, not to have your glove taken out of the zone and to stick that sinker. That's a strike on the outside corner.
And I think that's where coaching is so valuable, to have guys that have done it But then when you start to coach, you learn also how to teach the game to younger kids. You know, some guys will just catch it, or they'll do something hitting wise, but they don't know why they're doing it. They're just so gifted. But the good coaches are able to break it down for you.
Way outside. 2-2. Cargo, Descalso, Reynolds enjoying the ball game. And a strikeout of Tony Walters. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Blackman.
All fans through the gates on Saturday, June 25th, will receive an MLB card pack and a Charlie Blackman card courtesy of Topps. June 25th, Saturday, against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But tonight is also a baseball giveaway night. 2 home runs. Says you can't come to Coors Field, well, I'll give you 2 souvenirs here at Yankee Stadium. Home run in the first and a home run in the fourth. 4th time in his career he's had multi-home run games.
Just the second Rocky ever to have a multi-home run game at Yankee Stadium. Obviously the Rockies don't play here very frequently. Ty Wigginton back in 2011. I think that was the ball game the Rockies won against Ivan Nova, right?
Yeah, and it's also the game that Chris Iannetta had a home run. So they had 3 home runs against Nova that night. Charlie started, he was in left field for that game. Cargo was in center.
A lot of people responded on Twitter last night. Appreciated the shots of Myron and Ellen, his parents, celebrating the home run, and then after the ball game, the picture of Charlie and Myron talking, and then father and son embracing. Jenny had a great interview afterwards as well with Charlie.
A lot of that credit goes to our director, Mike Fox. Staying on that shot.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Also special time for the Hundley family. Watching Nick in that series. He had the big 3-run triple against Miami. And I was chatting with Nick about that. It never gets old, man. It never gets old to have your parents around. He said, it makes me feel good, Nick was saying, to have my parents there. There's the Blackmans.
And then the 2 sets of parents able to enjoy this moment together.
0-2. Inside. Charlie, it's always interesting to hear him describe how he was in high school and junior college. He goes, yeah, I really wasn't very good. Blyer able to strike Charlie out there. Rayburn left at first after signaling. The Rockies have an 8-4 lead. Stretch time in the Bronx. Look at our Kubota pitching performance tonight. Chad Bettis has had a fine evening. He goes 6 innings. He allows 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, 8 hits, only 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. And he's in line for another victory. Good night for Chad Bettis. Back-to-back solid outings for Chad against the Yankees. And he'll turn it over in the 7th inning to Gonzalez Germain. And for the Yankees, they'll have 9, 1, and 2 in their order. Rob Refsnyder, Brett Gardner, and Carlos Beltran.
The numbers for Gonzalez, who pitched a couple times in the Miami series. 24 innings, 22 strikeouts, just 12 walks.
Refsnyder 0 for 2. Rockies last night on the plus side, mixed and matched in the 7th. Then it was Jason Mott in the 8th and Carlos Estevez in the 9th. I'm sure that's what they'll do again tonight. Refsnyder and then the top of the order.
Boone Logan is warming up, so it could be a case where Gonzalez is going to come in, try to get this guy, and then go right after that and bring in Logan for Brett Gardner. So first things first for Gonzalez, get this guy.
Beltran's been pretty solid for both sides of the plate this year. This ball's lined over the glove of Nolan. And Refsnyder trying to turn it into a double, and he will.
Gonzalez behind 1-0. Fastball that came back inside. Refsnyder did not miss it. 6 double this season for him. Nolan was leaping for it. Wow, so close.
It's Brandon Barnes now in left field defensively for Rayburn. So Logan not coming in here to face Gardner. Seems lately that that fastball, that sinking fastball for Gonzalez Germain has more run on it than sink.
Getting off to the side more instead of on top, finishing out there out in front. And that's why he's been spraying that fastball. Still has command of the changeup, but not quite as much command as the fastball.
Outside, 2-1.
And this is a guy at the plate. Brett Gardner's very picky. He doesn't expand the zone. 2 hits tonight. Took a walk his last time against Chad Bettis.
And now it's 3-1. and he walked him. And that's the last thing you want to do, is start creating traffic anywhere, but particularly this ballpark. You're up 4 runs. Beltran 280 from the left side, 291 from the right side. On deck, you have Rodriguez, then McCann, another dangerous bat. This has been the Yankees hitting star of late, Carlos Beltran. 19 home runs all of last year, 18 in 66 games this year. He has 6 home runs in his last 14 games. He has had a phenomenal career. Remember that postseason years ago? He hit 8 home runs in the postseason, 19 years, 8-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves, 410 home runs. One of 4 switch hitters all time with 400+ home runs.
Still being coveted in trade talks.
Underneath this one, left center field. It's a big out.
Huge out. The advantage that Germain has on a lot of these guys is they've never seen him, or if it has, it's just been unlimited viewings. Rodriguez, for one, has just seen him one other time.
Gonzalez has given up runs in each of his last 2 outings. 3 of his last 6.
His last 2, inning and 2/3, 6 earned runs on 5 hits.
A-Rod, a sac fly his last time up. He got a curveball from Bettis that he hit to deep left center. Rayburn made the catch and doubled off. Run scored, but he doubled off Beltran, who was trying to tag go from first to second. 0-1 on Alex Rodriguez.
Started him off with the changeup. Alex thought he was getting fastball.
Played with him in Seattle way back.
Way back. He was 21 or 22 at the time.
Got to the big leagues at 19. A little more than a year after he was the first pick in the draft. High school in Miami.
He could steal bases back then too. He was those 40-40 guys.
And it's 1-2. It's easy to wonder why he did what he did, because he was already one of the most extraordinary talents to ever play the game. He's closing in on 700 home runs, 2,100 RBIs, already over 3,100 hits.
He's one of those talented individuals that even at a young age was just better than everybody else.
One and 2. Slow roller, 1 play for Story. That's first.
That was smart from Trevor not to charge it too hard and break down to know who's running instead of trying to come and make that off the side scoop If you catch it on the lip of the grass, who knows what's going to happen? Don't try to go to second base. Smart play. And now you're going to go to the left-hander with Brian McCann and Boone Logan. McCann 0 for 4 in his career against Boone.
Second and third, 2 outs. When we come back, Boone Logan, the former Yankee, in a facility he knows well. He'll try to get Brian McCann.
Rocky, he was a Yankee, spent 4 years in pinstripes, and before the game today, I asked him for the one word that comes to mind being back at Yankee Stadium.
Tradition. You know, it's just the people that played on in this organization back in the day to now, like just being able to say that you played for the Yankees, I think is something that I wish that every player had a chance to do one time in their life, to say that they played for the Yankees. And to be able to play for 4 years here was pretty special, and especially being the main lefty in the pen those 4 years, you know, it says a lot, and you know, that's saying a lot, you know, from this organization to give me that opportunity. You know, it's just a special place. It's big time. I mean, this is the spotlight, and there's nothing better than going out there and doing your job and getting that big out with bases loaded in Yankee Stadium.
Well, it's not a bases loaded situation, but with 2 runners in scoring position, Boone Logan back on the mound for the first time here facing Brian McCann. He can make it a special one, guys.
Yeah, it is. It's a big moment, though, Jenny, in that there's the Rockies with a 4-run lead, and as you know, he gets a hit here. It's all of a sudden a 2-run lead. It becomes much dicier, and Boone is having a terrific year with the Rockies. His best seasons were with New York. He had 4 real good years with the Yankees, and then 2 years where he's battling injuries with Colorado. This is the final year of his 3-year deal, and he's been terrific so far this year.
Just 2 of 20 inherited runners scoring. That's 10% when the major league average is 31.4%. Lefties are hitting .098 against him.
1 ball, 1 strike on McCann, and that ball's rolled foul, a slider.
Andrew Miller, Kirby Yates, righty and lefty up for the Yankees in their bullpen.
Just 186 left on left. Here's the 1-2 inside at 95. You think the juices are flowing a little bit?
Yeah, he remembers what it's like to run in and pitch off this mound. He has the familiar feeling.
Break off one of those good sliders.
That's what you set him up with, the fastball in.
blocked by Tony Walters. Now it's 3-2. Castro is on deck. Prefer to see him in the 8. 8-4 Colorado, 2 outs in the 7th. Ref Snyder at third, Gardner at second.
He swung at a high fastball, and he also swung at a slider down and away from him. You have 2 options.
Ball
So
just popped out of Tony Walters' glove.
Oh, Tony's looking at his glove. It's such a hard thing to do, changing directions. It's going one place, and then that ends up hitting off the heel of his glove, the outside heel.
Yeah, and he had no shot in that.
Yeah, it's just kind of luck at times whenever that ball ticks off the bat and goes into your glove.
Another 3-2. Got him this time. Beautiful job, Boone Logan. And the Rockies lefty strands 2 in the 7th. We move on to the 8th with the Rockies ahead 8-4 in the Bronx. Doesn't matter what time of day or night, Times Square always bustling in Midtown Manhattan. Plenty to see. Gentleman has a lot of silver on. 8-4 the Rockies leading as we go to the 8th with Jenny Cavnar, my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Kirby Yates out of Kauai, which is one of my favorite places to vacation. Went from Kauai to Yavapai in your home state, Prescott, Arizona. Now he's in the big leagues in New York. It's a long way from home.
I was going to say, that's 2 extremes there, to go from Hawaii to Yavapai, Prescott, Arizona, now New York City. Rockies saw Kirby. He allowed 3 runs in just 2/3 of an inning in Colorado. Fastball beat 92 to 95 miles an hour, slider, curveball, and changeup.
Back-to-back 3-hit ball games for DJ LeMahieu. 3 for 5 last night. He's 3 for 4 right now. Curveball for a strike. It's 0-1. LeMahieu, Arenado, and Gonzalez. 8 runs, 13 hits, couple of errors for the Rockies. 4 runs, 9 hits, couple of errors for the Yankees. Rockies won 1 of 3 in Boston, then took the mini 2-game series against the Yankees at Coors Field. Play another tomorrow afternoon and then head back home. See Arizona for 4, and then Toronto out of the American League East will come to Coors Field. And yes, Troy Tulowitzki.
Be nice to kind of unpack the suitcase 7 days at home.
It's been a crazy stretch, hasn't it?
He plays 27 straight in an off day. A couple games off day. Late travel.
And a good pitch by Yates. He strikes out LeMahieu. 1 out in the 8th.
Well, you want to get to your Rockies dugout stores this Saturday because it's the only place to get the limited edition Arenado bobblehead series. The countdown is on. Don't miss out.
So Blackmon with a couple of home runs at the top of the lineup. 3 hits for LeMahieu. Nolan, who steps up, has a single, a sac fly, and a 2-run homer. Cargo, who's up next, has a couple hits and a walk, including an RBI. So the first 4 in the lineup have been very, very productive tonight. Trevor Story has a double and 3 at bats, also a walk and a stolen base. First 5 guys.
Well, the first 4, or excuse me, first 4 guys have scored all 8 runs.
8 out of 9 have at least 1 hit tonight for the Rockies. And that's another hit for Nolan. So Arenado to first, and that'll bring up Cargo. 3 hit
night for him.
I did throw a lot of offseason BP. This for Brian Fisher to Tommy Runnels. Gave me a lot of confidence. I would just dominate it. What now, Brian? What on earth? First of all, Tommy lives in Ohio in the offseason.
Well, and he might have been back when they were playing because TR lived in Colorado back when he was playing.
Oh,
really?
Way back. Way back. Okay.
Yeah, not just this past offseason.
Oh, I was wondering what Tommy was doing taking BP.
We still like to take a little batting practice in the off season. Nothing wrong with that.
But you're starting to hit again because of fantasy camp.
I know.
Got to keep that stroke pure.
Don't want to embarrass myself.
Never want to do that. Outside, ball 1 on Cargo. Cargo up to 315. Getting close to 290 out on the road.
He's 13 for 29 during this 7-game hitting streak that he has.
Here's the 1-1. There's the splits home and road. 289 out on the road. Chat beforehand about this ballpark and how inviting that right field wall is. And Cargo's a guy, he can hit out any stadium ever built. Foul pole to foul pole. He said, you know, I would not change my approach here. He goes, got to stay in the middle of the field. He said, yeah, you may hit a slew of home runs. He goes, you may also hit 200. Trying to hook everything.
Well, Brett Gardner in left field, he fell into a little bit of that trap early on where he was saying, oh, that looks so good. But that got away from his swing, and now here in June, he's hitting 350 for this month. He's historically been a great hitter in June, but he started to go the other way and not try to think about hitting home runs into those seats.
That's going to be a base hit for Cargo. Nolan should go first to third here. He will. And now Cargo has a 3-hit night. And the Rockies in business in the 8th. You can never have enough. That'll bring up Trevor Story.
Sometimes you've got to change your swing depending on the pitch. You'll have to go down and get a pitch, and that's what Cargo does with this Kirby Yates.
Does this not look, Huey, as you described this, a slider, and you were right on it. He went down. Does this not look like the Cargo who won a batting title in 2010, a more adaptable guy at the plate?
That's an excellent word, adaptable, because it doesn't matter who the pitcher is, what he throws, what he wants to do with it, and his numbers don't lie. I mean, since May 21st, he's hitting .390, which leads the National League.
Here's Story. It's another one of those situational at-bats, and you want to be critical on a night where the Rockies have an 8-4 lead. They have 15 hits, but from a situational standpoint, it hasn't been a great night.
No, not at all. You struck out a couple times with runners in scoring position. You didn't get the ball in play, or maybe it was a pop-up. You know, you still want to separate, get bigger than that grand slam number. Just 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Even though some of these, you hit the home runs, just 3 for 11. Now 11's a lot of chances, but you'd like to see that closer to 6, maybe 7.
Good take by Story. 2-0. Back-to-back singles from Arenado and Carlos Gonzalez. Crowd of 34,760 at Yankee Stadium tonight. Jason Mott, Darren Holmes watching him. Mott's a native, or at least a guy that grew up in the New York area, upstate a little bit. Two and two after a pair of sliders. That's where Story, if he can get it in play, so dangerous, because he's a hard guy to double up. So even if he hits it on the ground, a chance he's going to bring Nolan home.
And he should just be thinking outer third of the plate. Remember that double that he hit in the 6th inning to right field? That should be what he's looking for. Just work that way.
Two. Went slider again. No swing.
The hard part for a hitter when you're thinking about going the other way or just working on a slider away, and in the back of your mind you always think, I don't want to get beat inside with the fastball. I mean, every hitter does it, so you don't want to be beat there, but for Trevor, he's got to look away.
Runner going, and Cargo takes off. He'll steal second on the strikeout of Story. 2 outs, and let's see if Descalso can come through with 2 gone. Oh, Tom was at UNC at the time. His thumb's probably still hurt. Mr. Greeley, Colorado, Tommy Runnels.
I think he was part of that UNC team that made it to the College World Series.
I believe he was, yeah. Descalso tonight, an infield hit, 1 for 4. 2 ribbies out there for him. Called strike. Kirby Yates on the mound. Pretty talented baseball family. Older brother Tyler pitched in the big leagues. The Mets, the Atlanta Braves, Pittsburgh Pirates, finished up in 2009. Appeared in 239 games.
And that's a strike. In fact, Kirby's brother Tyler made his final appearance May 15, 2009. Pitching 2/3 of an inning against the Colorado Rockies. Guess there's a pretty good sand line in Lahui, huh?
Guess he had a built-in throwing partner.
Yep.
Probably wore out a few of the backstops throwing it against the chain link fence.
That too. Eight runs, 15 hits for the Rockies. Descalso goes down. Rockies have struck out a bunch tonight, but they will carry a 4-run lead to the bottom of the 8th as 2 are left in scoring position. Leading as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jason Mott's going to take over for Colorado. Jason Mott in the ball game yesterday had a hold in the 8th inning. Went to college just north of here, about 20 minutes in New Rochelle, New York, at Iona College. League hitting just .212 against Mott so far. A reminder, the day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Starlin Castro, Didi Gregorius, Chase Headley to face Mott here in the 8th inning.
Going to say the ERA keeps going down for Jason Mott. 1 inning last night, 2 strikeouts. Went through the big part of the order last night. Have Ozuna and Stan to both strike out. You got Realmuto on a fly ball.
Good pitch. It's a slider.
Marvel at Jason when he closes his eyes right before kind of looking up to the sky with his eyes closed before he delivers the pitch. I was going to say he couldn't see the sign because he shook off 5 or 6 times. He only has 2 pitches.
That's what I was saying. It's fastball up. 0-2 on Castro. This ball's in the air to center field. Blackman's right there. 1 out. Didi Gregorius will be next.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. You can join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices.
Heard in the hallways of Yankee Stadium on the broadcast level earlier tonight. Something about these Rockies aren't supposed to be very good. Then somebody else remarked, well, they only have 1 less win than we have.
To which the other one replied, really?
Yeah, really. In the forgotten time zone. But as has been said many times, once you start winning and winning consistently, the narrative will change. Force them to pay attention, as the Rockies did in 07 and 09 and most of 2010. 2-0 right now at Gregorius, a double and a triple in 3 trips tonight. He's hitting .391 against the National League this year. Seems to be a split camp in New York as to what the Yankees should do prior to the deadline. 2-2. In other words, there are some who say, you know, keep adding on somehow to make a run, and there are others who believe they should part with 1 or 2 of those great late inning guys they have, Miller and Betances and Chapman, to try to bring back some younger prospects for the future, because the Yankees have a void in their system. Some
just the haul.
Yeah. Got him with a fastball riding away at 95. 2 outs in the 8th inning.
What a rare time they get Didi Gregorius without putting the ball in play.
Jason. Quick arm, man.
Oh yeah, well it goes back to that catching you and I were talking about in the game last night in Miami, how he came up as a catcher, so he gets it out of his glove short on the backside, and that helps with the deception. So you throw 95, it looks more like 99 to 100.
Chase Headley tonight 0 for 3. Chase takes a strike. When you were looking at a pitch, I know you're looking at that little window where the ball's going to come out of, but if you see the guy squint to find the sign and then close his eyes, you're going, oh my goodness, right?
Can he even pick me up? Could he see it?
0-2.
Reminds me of the kid from The Sandlot, Squints. Say, wait a second, what's he seeing back here?
We were talking to Joe Girardi before the ball game, and he says, you know what, guys that do things like that and throw really hard, he said, I'd tell him on purpose to throw at least 1 pitch when he's warming up halfway up the screen.
He was telling us about the story that a pitcher he had in Florida, Reniel Pinto, was he legally blind in one eye?
He was legally blind in one eye.
And so he kind of wanted it out there, so guys were afraid when they were standing in the batter's box. You know, for Pinto, it didn't matter. I mean, he had a good arm. I remember Pinto. He was 94 to 96 from the left side.
Just add a little bit of uneasiness.
Oh, think back to Larry Walker, Randy Johnson, John Kruk, all those guys when they were, you know, going against each other in the All-Star game. turning the helmet around. He throw it to the backstop.
1-2 on Headley with 2 outs. Got him. High heat. What an inning for Jason Mott. Got Castro, Gregorius, and Headley, too, with fastballs, 2 punch outs in the inning. We move on to the 9th with the Rockies in control, 8-4 in New York. Anthony Swarzak is going to take over now for the Yankees. He's the 4th pitcher used by Joe Girardi out of the bullpen. Rockies saw him last week. He had a scoreless inning. And Mark Reynolds will be first. Mark, a couple of RBIs tonight, including a 5th inning double off the left field wall.
A veteran of a couple other major league teams in Minnesota and Cleveland. Originally a 2nd-round draft pick in 2004 by the Twins.
One ball, one strike.
Well, the Rockies' pin, as usual, be the 9th inning guy now is Carlos Estevez. He's starting to get loose.
One and two on the former Yankee, Mark Reynolds. And Swarzak strikes out Reynolds. That'll bring up Brandon Barnes for the first time. Rockies have struck out 11 times in this game. They have 15 hits and 8 runs. Kind of an odd combination.
But they got some of those hits at the right time. The home runs, sac fly.
CC Sabathia goes tomorrow for the Yankees. Big John Gray goes for the Rockies. And with the left-hander on the mound, sure a good chance Barnes will be involved in left field. Ryan Rayburn probably DH. Guess.
It helped too tonight that you had the right-hander, so Tony could start with the left-hander going tomorrow. You get Nick Hundley behind the plate. CC, his last 7 starts, is 4-2 with a 0.82 ERA. He's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, CC's
and
pitching
John's
like
in a great spot too.
John's in a great spot, and CC Sabathia pitching like he's revisiting his 20s in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, here's a first-round pick by Cleveland in 1998.
Dougie handed me a note. It said that's like 280 pounds of pitchers. I said, what are they? I said, what are they?
500.
No, the note said 280. Then he tried to cross it out. I'm like, what are they? Both $140? You look at closely. 2 outs. I don't care what he corrected. I'm going with what he originally wrote.
I'm surprised you could even read his handwriting.
It's like a doctor. We've been together a long time.
So
I can read his chicken scratch. I also knew what he meant.
Which is worse?
That doesn't speak highly for me, does it? Not at all. Tony's 0 for 4. If he can throw out a hit, every guy in the lineup will have a knock tonight.
And I know he wants to make sure he joins everybody else. But I still go back to that strikeout that he picked off of Aaron Hicks in the 6th inning is one of those points in this game that you can look back on.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Right. Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe that's called a ball. He gets on. Remember, there's already a runner at third base. So Tony, for what he's done behind the plate tonight, has earned his keep.
Justin Miller also throwing. I would think if it got to 5 runs, you would see Miller. Now that's 2 outs and it's a 1-2 count, but that's why Miller's up, if you're wondering. If somehow the Rockies rally here for another run with 2 outs, Walt would stay off his closer. If it's 4 runs, he's going to nail it down, even though it's not a quote-unquote save situation. He painted, so we'll go to the 9th inning. 3 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts in a row for the Yankees. The good news is the Rockies have an 8-4 lead, and here comes the big kid, the wild thing, Carlos Estevez, when we come back. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies, and by Volkswagen. Rockies will visit the Big Apple twice this year. Mini 2-game set against the Yankees. They'll play 4 against the Mets later on this summer. And there is a fan of the Wild thing here in the Bronx. The Rockies banner right there as well. We saw some Rockies fans here in New York. While the Rockies were taking batting practice, they were making their presence known. Estevez got the save last night. He has a 4-run lead here, looking for 3 outs.
A forced save last night for Carlos, and they needed that. They need him in this ball game to just shut this thing down. After the 3 losses in Miami, got the win last night, get the first win tonight before you turn around and play a quick day game tomorrow.
Aaron Hicks will be first. And the first fastball cruises over at 97. It's 0-1. Hicks 0 for 3, reached on an error by DJ early in the game. Couple of strikeouts since inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's another pitch really well handled by Tony Walters. That can't be easy. I mean, that's 98 miles an hour.
With some movement on it, but everyone that has been down at the Subaru strike zone, he's been able to get that up enough where Adam Hamari's calling it a strike.
1-2. He beats the ball to the spot. Does that make sense?
Right, he does, but it's hard to do
when a guy throws that hard with movement.
And you're hoping it's in that area, and that's what you're expecting.
He's going to throw Hicks a slider. Three and 2. Rob Refsnyder's on deck. Broken bat, fly ball, shallow right. Cargo's got it. He laid out and made a great catch, a highlight reel catch earlier in the ball game. That one became a lot easier. 1 out in the 9th inning. Hey, big thanks to Brian Fisher. Made Colorado proud a number of years ago. Former Yankee, and he joined us on our Takeover Twitter account tonight with Toyota. We appreciate it. Good night, Root Sports. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys. Shout out to KMM and a bunch of others. This is a base hit through the left side. It's good to reconnect with Brian Fisher, and so many good pitchers, in particular good players, come out of the state that have reached the big leagues. 1 out, 1 on. Brett Gardner coming up. Brett's been on all 4 times this evening. He had 2 hits and 2 walks.
The other shout out Brian had was to the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association, which he's actively involved with.
They're based in the Springs.
In the Springs, yeah, they do a marvelous job connecting former players with clinics, and Fish is a part of that. Done a couple clinics with him. It's a fun time.
Oh, and 1 on Brett Gardner. Rockies from Jump Street have taken the fans out of this game. 99, no baseball, 0-2. Game started with
Charlie Blackmon hitting one high off the right field foul pole. The first of 2 home runs tonight for Blackmon. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 2 more in the 6th inning on a 2-run shot by Arenado. 1-2. 1-2 on Brett Gardner at a college at Charleston. From South Carolina, 3rd-round pick back in 2005 of the Yankees.
Been here a long time.
See ya.
Wow.
Where's that? A little low.
That was further down than what it appeared. Yeah, Tony fooled us, Drew.
He's that good. Not that it takes a lot to fool us, but I mean, he really made that look like a strike. And this is a force out at second. You know, DJ didn't give in. I thought, you know, he's just going to take the out at first. He says, no, we can get the force out.
Just keep that lead runner.
That lead runner.
And that helps your pitcher, too. Something happens, they scratch out a broken bad hit, a squibber, instead of that run scoring, you kind of help your pitchers preserve that ERA.
2 outs in the Bronx. Carlos Beltran, 2 for 4 tonight. You know what? Those rally caps, they don't have.
Heart's not in it.
Yeah, there's really no gusto behind it. It's fouled off. Brett Gardner not being held on. He had taken off for second. That's what got Gardner to the big leagues, primarily, at least initially. He has great speed. He moves up. Fouled off. Again, a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Tony Walters wants to go out, make sure what Carlos wants to throw here. 1-2 on Beltran.
He's also telling him don't worry about Brett Gardner because he took off for second. It wasn't a stolen base. Defensive indifference. He took off for third. Don't even worry about him. If he wants to take off again, that's fine. You get this guy here, it doesn't matter what he does.
Well, the Rockies are giving him the bag because, I mean, Nolan's playing shortstop. There's literally nobody within 50 feet of third base. It doesn't matter. It's all about getting Beltran and going and shaking hands. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And this will get it done. Popped up in the neighborhood of Nolan Arenado. And the Rockies win it tonight in the Bronx 8-4. They've won all 3 ball games against the Yankees so far this year. They can go for the season sweep tomorrow afternoon with John Gray on the hill. You know, the Rockies had consistent offense. They left some runners out there, to be frank, but they were the better team once again this evening. Chad Bettis gets the victory. Another good start from Chad. He's 6-5. Ivan Nova takes the loss.